international week, so we're going to do them first.
Okay, did we figure out the two movies?
I think so.
Was it The Lion? Do you remember?
I want to talk about everything, but I would encourage you to take some of the documents that I printed here. These people who donate time like you, pennies and private donors contribute to 50%, actually 50% of all the funds that are available in the United States. What you are giving, what you are doing actually is very, very important. It's part of this bigger picture. I just wanted you to know that. Now, Waza Alliance for Quality Education, what is the bigger picture? The question is, what do you go to school for? If I was going to ask you, why are you here?
Learn about things that are necessary.
If you did not attend school, what would you like?
Searching for food harder.
How hard is it going to be here in the United States if you don't go to school?
Still pretty challenging. You don't have a lot of options. You're kind of forced into a life. You don't have the choices.
And you probably have to work.
Okay. But you have to work even if you have education, right? I know what you're trying to say. It's the kind of work that doesn't really give a lot of return, right?
Yeah.
And your life quality will not be what you envision if you had a better education. Is that what I'm hearing, right? But you still have an option to get a job, get to live with the minimum, or get on welfare, get on these programs that will keep you alive, right? But in other countries, there's no option. You have, if you want to improve your life, you want to get out of the poverty cycle, you have to go to school. If you don't go to school, then a lot of adverse situations, I'm not just talking about falling on the minimum. There is no safety net, there is no programs like unemployment or whatever you call it here. There isn't. There isn't anything like that other than hazardous activities such as prostitution, child labor will be your options, and child soldiers will be your options. In the 1990s, many governments and big organizations such as the World Bank, UNESCO began to think in terms of providing education because they believe that that's one of the means that can improve the lives of millions of children in the world, because there could not be any other way to get out of the poverty cycle. So they met in Thailand in 1990, and they decided on a few goals. Well, some things, right? We want to learn to read, write, and count. Anything science or maths and physics. We want to learn that because there's a belief out there that if you know those three things, your lifespan, your life expectancy, the quality of your life will change drastically. And so they aimed at access to education, means there's got to be a school in the neighborhood. The infrastructure has to be there. So they had 6 main goals. The result was that not all goals that I've listed here were achieved by 2000. So the world had to reaffirm that education for all is still important, even if they did not achieve those goals, right? Here came what they call the Millennium Development Goals. And they said they needed 15 more years. Goal number 2 of the MDG is universal primary education, and goal number 3 is to promote gender equity, equality, and empower women. When you look at the accessing education for all, you look at the infrastructure. But once the kids are in school, what do we do now? Teaching and learning processes become very important. Teacher education becomes very important. The teachers have to access pre-services and in-service, and we need to look at how they're being paid. In some countries, kids still repeat years. If you didn't have enough grades to pass, they will ask you to repeat. Class size, availability of books, okay? the number of students per book is 27. The ratio here in our school is what? You've got at least 5 books, right? Per student, right? But somewhere, the whole class here will have to rely on Mr. Bond's book because you wouldn't have any available. Now, what do we do? Our goals as Waza, like I just explained, is actually to look at how we can improve the learning processes or how we can also improve teachers' conditions of work, because we are looking at what's happening in the classroom. We have 4 goals, one of which is to improve the teacher education. For this, we have a program that we call Waza Teacher Training Seminars. Okay? We want to have public schools improve their management. If the management is efficient enough, teachers are going to do their jobs. And if teachers do their jobs, kids are going to learn. Now we want to ensure that the child who enrolled has the chances of completing the elementary cycle. It seems as though the return that you get when you complete elementary school, not here in the United States, but in developing countries, is much higher than the return that we get when you complete secondary school. But the dropout rate is so high because of other reasons that we at Waza want to ensure that the kids don't drop out, at least until they finish the cycle of education. Developing curricular resources. Every year when I go there, teachers have to prepare their lesson plans and also activity sheets that we will put online. We're still working on that. It's cheaper than getting them books and from somewhere, because they can, for 20 cents, access the online resources and down. Really, I just browsed very, very fast in less than 15-20 minutes to give you an idea of why we're doing this. This is part of the bigger picture, as I explained, and this is part of the Millennium Development Goals, number 2 and number 3. Yes?
Sorry, when she's going to write up a Friday Forget-Me-Nots
Yes.
blurb. So Waza is, text your name, the fundraiser, the cost, we'll keep it the same as it was last year.
Right.
RSVP, last year they were almost all going to you.
Yes.
Should we RSVP to both of us, with both emails?
Yes. Well, I think we should probably talk about the processes of, your fundraising strategy. What's happening is that you are the first Waza Club of this organization. Now, the expansion of the program will depend on the success that we get here and move to other schools. You can write a letter to the government formally, maybe in English, and then it has to be translated in French.
You mean us?
Yes.
As
As a club, come up with that letter. Basically, say who you are. You don't want to make it feel like a free meal. You send stuff and they will do whatever they want. This is a structured project that we need to follow through.
Let's get the French right, because there's got to be a certain level of formal French that
Well,
might
Camille
be
was in the
difficult.
club. So.
Yeah, but I mean, there's got to be a formal sort of political French.
Yes.
A tone more than perhaps anything else.
What we will do is, the letter will be written by you, but of course we will edit it to the best we can. I can even forward it to the lawyer in the Congo. He knows the language, and he will send us back the letter.
How soon?
Here's the deal. If the container must be there in June, July in the Congo, it has to leave the United States in February. Those are the technical issues that I was explained we need to take care of. So the deadline is it must leave February. But before it leaves in February, we have to fill it up. How much time do we need? I don't know. We have never done this before. Or what will be the response? I don't know. It depends on our campaign. How well we do the campaign will determine how fast we can do this.